What's up, guys? JP back at you once again, bringing you guys day number 24 in my 13th annual 31 Days of Horror, a series in which we watch and review 31 horror films in 31 days, all during the month of October, leading right up to Halloween. And continuing along with day number 24, I decided to go with another 2024 release. And before I even get into the film, I just want to say that I'm going to be as spoiler-free as possible because I think this movie is great and I want people to see it and go in as blind as possible. But that movie is The Substance from 2024. This film is directed by, I don't want to butcher her name, but it's the girl who did Revenge from a couple years ago. That was a Shudder film, I believe. It was like sort of like the rape revenge film. French. It was really good. Actually, it was a movie that I thought was good, and then after more time had passed, I thought was really good. But yeah, this is her next film, her sophomore effort, if you will, and it is starring Demi Moore, as well as another actress who's starting to pop off a little bit, who I don't know her name, but she's good in it as well. So basically, a brief synopsis of this film is Demi Moore's character is named Elizabeth Sparkles, and she is sort of past her prime actress, and she's now doing sort of like a workout class that's aired on some show that she is doing like workouts, and she's like leading them, and it's broadcasted out. So her best years have kind of been behind her. She has a sleazy studio exec type guy who basically fires her because they need someone young and hot. And you can definitely get the sense that this is very impactful to Elizabeth Sparkles' character, because her whole identity, like who she is a beautiful actress. That's her identity. So that her identity is sort of being stripped away, and she's past her prime and she doesn't know what to do or where to go. She essentially feels unfulfilled because the best parts of her life are over, and she's having a very hard time coping with this. And you pretty much pick all this up on, not even dialogue necessarily. You just the way she is, like the situation she's in. There's a scene where she's like staring at herself in a mirror and looking over her body and stuff like that. And she essentially gets into a car accident and is in the hospital, and she meets a doctor who essentially tells her that you're perfect for this thing, and he gives her a number to call. And he says that it changed her life. Or his life. So she calls this number, they send her a package. It's called The Substance. It's a flash drive, and she plugs it in, and it basically gives a brief description of, it's like a beauty pharmaceutical type thing, right? Like it's just, be the new you type thing, And, at first she's like sort of like, this is trash, scammy shit, throws it in the garbage. But as more and more things happen, and she feels more and more distraught over her current affairs, she decides to call it. And then they send her some stuff, and she goes to this like weird place where she has like a key card, and she gets a package in a lockbox. She goes home, and there's a few things in the lockbox, and it essentially is a sci-fi type of plot after that, where There's like these steps that you need to do to essentially become a new, younger, better looking version of yourself. And there's a lot more to it. It's not quite exactly that, but I don't want to really get into like what happens because it's really cool. But essentially that is the plot. And like I said, I want to say really spoiler free on this. But a couple things right away in the film that I thought was like really cool and instantly grabbed my attention. The beginning of the movie shows an egg, like an egg yolk, and they inject it with a syringe, and then that egg yolk splits into two egg yolks, and that is essentially your movie right there. And then the next scene is actually the Hollywood star being made with you don't even see the character, you just see like photography and like the star reveal type thing, and they show them placing the mold in the concrete and stuff like that, and it's very artistic. And then as it goes, you see different things throughout the years. It cracked, getting beat up, and it's just such a representation of, like, we're seeing this Hollywood star, which represents this person who is a super iconic and important person in this industry. As the star fades and cracks and gets scuffed up, her as a character over the years also fades and cracks and gets scuffed up as she ages. And it's perfect. Like, I right away I'm just like, okay, this is my kind of movie. This is like what I like. And after that, it pretty much goes like body horror, and it's good body horror. There's a heavy emphasis on the insane beauty and standards that not only like society puts on you, but you put on yourself as well. Like, you are not allowed to age. Like, you are not allowed to become old in life these days, especially in that industry, right? Like in Hollywood. And it's a very eye-opening, even though we're kind of aware of this stuff, the way that they kind of show it to you in the movie, it's like very eye-opening, and also just hits so perfect. Like, so much of this stuff in this movie is just so well conceived. I absolutely love how the story goes and plays out. There is something that happens in the third act where I felt like there was a slight tone shift, maybe more than slight. And at first I was like, I don't think I like this. Like, I was like, oh no, this like might ruin the movie for me. But after seeing it play out and then after thinking about it, I actually kind of loved it. I can't really quantify exactly why, but I think that it fits, and I think that it works. Demi Moore is awesome in this movie. I absolutely loved her. She did such a good job with this role, and like, there's like a few scenes that really shows like range and what she's like capable of in this film. Particularly a scene in which she is ranting about another actress, or person who is in the spot that she was in, and sort of like this animosity towards that person. And it's done so well. It's not exactly like that, but I'm just trying not to like give away stuff, but it's a great scene. There's some other really great scenes in there too, with her coping and trying to becoming obsessed and addiction, and all kind of these themes are just in there with this beauty and youth and stuff like that. It feels very Cronenberg-y. Like, if you didn't tell me, I would have 100% thought that Brandon Cronenberg did this movie. Like, if I didn't know, it just feels so Cronenberg-y, but like modern Cronenberg, which modern Cronenberg to me is like Brandon Cronenberg. So it feels like Cronenberg mixed with some Kubrick, and I also said with a little Frank Henenlotter sprinkled on top. That's what this movie feels like to me. I saw it in the theater. I'm really glad that I got to see it before it left, because I've been really behind on seeing movies in the theater this year. But man, dude, it was like perfect. Like, I just loved the experience with this one. So I don't want to go into too much more, because like I said, I want people to go into this blind and is unspoiled as possible, because I think it is a treat of the year. It's definitely one of the best films I've seen of the year. Definitely has potential to be my favorite film of the year. But there's still a lot of stuff I missed, so and there's still some stuff coming out. Even a big one, Edgar's Nosferatu is supposed to come out Christmas, so that's another big one that could, based on his previous works, could definitely be a top film, if not my favorite. But yeah, with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and give The Substance a 9 out of 10 for now. It could be better. It could go up, but usually when I first see a movie like this, I need to let it sit for a little bit and really think about it, and then maybe even do a rewatch. But for now, it's a 9. It's great. Definitely check it out if you haven't seen it. And with that said, we'll see you guys next time with another review. Peace.